Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. Now in this episode, we're going to start off by talking to Luxord over here, and if we have a weapon with 2 units installed, we can get something from him. Have you been customizing your weapons? A smart player knows how to adapt his game to suit the house rules. Equip a weapon with 2 or more units installed in it, then come see me. I'll find you a game worthy of the weapon you've crafted. And we've already done that, so... I see you've got a weapon with 2 or more units installed. Good. I'll get you clearance for a suitable game, a new mission. Ask Sykes for the details. And what that does is unlock mission 41, which we're not going to get to in this episode, but if we talk to Xigbar, we can get something else. You know doing missions fills the bonus gauge, right? It lets the organization keep tabs on how hard you're working. How's about I take a little peek? Come tell me when you filled it completely for days 97 to 116. And we've already done that as well. Looks like you filled the gauge for days 97 to 116, Slugger. Nice going. Here's a little something from me to you. Now this isn't quite, a spectacular gift or anything. We just get a Gus Shard, which of course is just a kind of a run-of-the-mill sort of synthesis item that we'll get to a little bit later on. Now in this episode, we're going to be doing mission 38, which I think is the final investigation mission in the game, which I'm pretty happy about that, because I don't know about you guys, but investigation missions are probably my least favorite. But anyway, of course, we get a cutscene here to start off the mission. Still as dark and empty as ever. It's practically a cave, a fitting home for a beast. The castle's master? You've seen him, haven't you? Every inch a monster. So you've done a little exploring here on your own, then? Yes, I suspect it was some kind of spell that left him in that state. A spell? The data we've collected suggests he was human originally. The exact sequence of events is unclear, but it was a spell that forced him to live as that thing. Wow, that can be fun. We're here to analyze, not sympathize. Let's begin hunting for clues. Alright. We'll leave the beast's chambers for later. Let's search the rest of the castle first. If you say so. Now, pretty much right off the bat here, if we examine this door over here, we get our first clue. Shh, I hear voices. Somebody's in here. Master won't even... It's a bell. Master? Then it must be the servants. Come away, lest you draw any attention. Right. That, of course, is our first clue. Doesn't really say that much, but maybe over the course of this episode, we'll find out a little bit more about what's going on here. I don't know what that was. I was, stutter stepping on the edge of the staircase there. But anyway, we got the air slide level plus, which is pretty useful, mostly because we can now air slide, or once we equip it anyway, we'll be able to. We can now air slide without touching the ground first, and we can do it twice, I should say. That's probably the most important part. But if we come over here and examine this pile of footprints, or I guess you can't really have a pile of footprints, but anyway, I'm not going to bother reading this dialogue because it's pretty, run-of-the-mill stuff. But if we examine it, of course, we'll get another clue. Now, I think I've done this every time, or each of the past, 3 episodes or something like that, but I just want to talk about, just briefly, the fact that I will not be having any more breaks between videos. Not, 2 months or anything, because that's just kind of ridiculous. And I think I talked about this in my update video. I don't want to talk about it too much, just because I don't want to, get into a spiral of excuses or anything. I just want you guys to know that I do apologize for that. And we will be, doing more videos and stuff. But I have been streaming quite a bit over on Twitch, so if you like, specifically Majora's Mask is what I've been streaming lately, I think you guys will enjoy that. But anyway, one thing I want to talk about, as far as this actual episode goes, or this level, this mission, pretty much, I think this might be the first time we've ever been in a mission in Beast Castle with Xaldin. I could be wrong, but the significance of that is, if you guys remember from Kingdom Hearts 2, Xaldin has a big part in Beast Castle, and of course we defeat Xaldin in Beast Castle and Kingdom Hearts 2 as Sora. I almost said Zora, just 'cause I guess I've been playing so much Majora's Mask lately. But anyway, in here, we have to fight 3 of these snapper dogs. I'm going to try and stay away as much as possible and use fire to take them out. And then, by the way, the reason we have to take them out is because there's an examine point in the middle of the room that we have to examine, and we have, of course, we can't examine it if there are enemies in the room with us, or, you know, in range of us or whatever. But yeah, anyway, it's pretty cool that Xaldin is with us. We can start to see, I should say, the beginnings of Xaldin's plan for turning Beast into a Heartless or whatever. I think that's pretty cool, especially, like, I think I've talked about this before, specifically with, like, the Kingdom Hearts series and the Metal Gear Solid series. A lot of people will recommend that you play the games in, like, chronological order, and if you did that with Kingdom Hearts, you would play this game before you played Kingdom Hearts 2. But I don't think that's really the best way to do it. If you play Kingdom Hearts 2 first, you'll know exactly what Xaldin is doing here, and I think it adds that little bit extra to the game, or to it adds a little more meaning to what Xaldin is doing here, and actually a little bit more meaning to the mission overall, I guess. But anyway, I can't tell if this is our last Snapper Dog. I think it is. Yeah, I took those out a little bit faster than I thought. I thought for some reason there was 4, but of course there's not. Like I said before, I'm not really going to bother reading all this dialogue. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do after this mission, or how many missions I'm going to do in this episode. I think I might actually just do the one. And you guys will have to let me know what you think. My new sort of thinking is I will maybe do fewer missions per episode, maybe have shorter episodes. Because those ones that are like 50 minutes long do get a little bit, or they do drag on a little bit, I would say. But anyway, enough about the, you know, the meta side of YouTube and stuff like that. Enough talk about, you know, my upload schedule and all that. We have some investigations to do here in Beast Castle, and we've already done a couple of the examine points, and I think there are like 2 more or something like that. There's one over here in the East Hall, and of course, we're gonna get a cutscene here apparently. I forgot about that. I'm not gonna bother reading this dialogue either, but if you guys remember, I forgot what the clock's name is. No, Cogsworth. I'm glad that popped up there right as I was saying that. But the clock and the candelabra for some reason the clock is always in the East Hall, it seems like, and the candelabra is always in the West Hall, and I think the candelabra's name is Lumiere or something like that. Hopefully that's right, because we'll talk to him a little bit later on as well. But anyway, you might remember that they kind of patrol the halls, and they have those like little red cones we have to stay out of, and if we touch them, we get thrown back to the beginning of the little area or whatever. Hopefully we can get through these areas without too much of a problem, because, of course, it gets annoying when you get in those cycles where you keep getting caught and thrown back, especially for some reason, like, you can't skip the cutscene that plays after it sometimes. But hopefully I don't get caught so we can avoid said cycle of having to restart over and over. But before I did start this episode, I practiced, or I tried to memorize the movements of these guys, and if we just run to the right here, we should be fine. I was worried that maybe the pattern would be random, but it seems to be pretty consistent throughout my attempts at doing this part of the game. But anyway, if we have to, or if we want to examine that next point, which is that door right there, we have to take out these sergeants, which we're not doing that much damage, surprisingly. Like, I thought we had maybe leveled up. Did I equip the nimble gear? Did I equip the lift gear? I don't really remember. It has been quite a while since I played the game, and I actually just pretty much started my file right where I left off. I didn't even mess with any panels before I started this episode, so maybe I should have done that. But it looks like we're taking out the sergeants without too much of a problem here, and it looks like Xaldin is actually doing quite a bit of work here. Usually the organization of our helpers don't do quite that much to help our cause, but the 2 sergeants are dead, so let's go ahead and examine this door. This room. Yes, what about it? Well, we know this isn't the Beast room, but it does kind of look like it, I guess. This room looks just like the Beast's. I sense someone may be inside. Whoever it is must be important enough to warrant a combination as fine as the Master's. Peer inside and see who it is, Roxas. I wonder if he's off chasing those horrid creatures again. He's had to do that every day for weeks. I wish there was some way I could help. Perhaps I'll ask Cogsworth and the others. I'm sure that together we can figure something out. I don't believe it. The woman inside, she's human. Really? Just when I thought this castle was all freaks and furniture, then she must be Belle. How do you know? All the servants speak highly of her. It's only fitting someone so well regarded would be given such fine lodgings. She's pretty, isn't she? We've had a good look around. I'd say we've gotten to know our beast rather well. You remember the way to his room, yes? I think so. Take me there. Alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is, just to kind of cut down on the monotony of these investigation missions, I will see you guys over at the next examine point. I should have known there was gonna be a cutscene here. Stop, we're not alone. It is horrible. This monstrous infestation has to end. If only there was some way we could be rid of them for good. But like this, what can I do? I don't even have arms to hold a sword. He must be like the others, another human under the spell. It would seem everyone here underwent some sort of transformation. How do you suppose they wound up under a spell? I couldn't say. We may find some clue in the beast's room. That's just past here. Then let us be going. Don't get spotted, Roxas. Well, I was going to speed up until the next examine point area, but I forgot that cutscene was going to be there, so we're just going to pretty much roll with it, I guess. But that last little bit of dialogue there from Zaldin, he said something like, "Don't get spotted, Roxas," and that made me think of how horrible these missions would be if you could get caught. If your organization member got caught, that would be awful, but we need to examine this pile of footprints here as well. The floor is all torn up. He fought tooth and nail to stop the Heartless here. There must be something ahead. You know, Zaldin, for all of his talk, has some pretty astute observations, you know, sarcasm tag there. All the things that he, specifically, it seems like he says, are very obvious. Sometimes some of the other members have, you know, better observations. Like, I forgot who took us on our first observation mission. I really cannot remember who it was, but I felt like some of the things he was saying actually were kind of like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool observation. Meanwhile, we have Zaldin over here saying things that are quite obvious and trying to make us feel like an idiot for not, you know, maybe voicing our own opinion because we thought it was so obvious we didn't have to say it. But anyway, we have a bully dog here, which is a little bit different from a snappy dog, I guess. Which I think the others were called snappy dogs. They could be snapper dogs, I don't really remember, because I think here in one of the earlier episodes, I made a Flappy Bird joke, and I don't really remember what the actual name of the other enemies is now. But anyway, I guess it's really not all that important because the enemy we're fighting right now is dead, and now we can examine this point right here. This is the beast's room? Yeah, I'll take a look inside. Looks like he's out. There's something at the far side of the room. My. Huh? Zaldin, how did you... This rose. I sense a power in it. The beast must hold it quite dear. Well, we have made quite the discovery, haven't we? You mean, well, I guess the rose is pretty important, that's what we just saw. What do you care about some flower? Well, tell me what you make of it. It did look kind of fake to me. No rose is going to survive long under glass, it's gotta be fake. But then you're making an assumption that it's just another rose. To him, at least, it seems to hold more value than anything else in the castle. You saw the room. It was in tatters, save one corner. Maybe that's why he's been fighting the Heartless. He wants to protect the rose? Of course, some strange power surrounds it. The Heartless are drawn to it. Then his fight is far from over. Our work here is done, Roxas. The beast's weakness is clear. It is? To hold something dear is to let it hold you. His heart is enthralled to it, don't you see? And that, Roxas, is ample weakness. I'm not sure I follow. Nor should you. You have no heart to love with. Come, we return. Now, if we turn right around here and examine this door again, I'm of course not going to bother reading the dialogue because it doesn't even seem that important. But for some reason, and by the way, for these investigation missions, I do a little research first to make sure, like, I only examine the ones I really need to, because all the other ones are pretty much just fluff. For some reason, it appears that you have to examine that door to get the last little bit of the gauge filled up, and I'm not really sure why, because the information you get from examining that door is not really all that important. And you would probably not think that you had to do that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the... Are you kidding me? Like, every single time I get wrecked by Lumiere right here. If you guys remember the last time we were here, the same exact thing happened. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make my way back to the East Hall. I will see you guys in just a second. What now, Roxas? I bade you return. This Belle person, why do you suppose she's here? You think she isn't simply a prisoner? It didn't seem that way to me, plus she mentioned helping him. Help that beast? Ha! If I had a heart, I'd be laughing. You look like you have more to say. Well, it is about Belle, let's go ahead and talk about that. She's obviously important to the beast. The servants seem more concerned with her than the beast does. They seem to be of the opinion she matters somehow to their master. Right, but how? Enough speculation. We have what we need. It's past time it returned. And of course we get our final little breakthrough here, and we've completed this mission 100%, so I'm going to go ahead and RTC. You're here early. Work was easy today. I guess Axel's still out on that classified mission, huh? So where'd they send you, Roxas? Beast's castle was Alden. You remember the castle's master she owned? Yeah, the beast we saw. Well, you were right. He does have something he wants to protect. Something he cares about. Really? Yeah, but Zalden says that's a weakness. Why would caring about something be a weakness? I don't know. I didn't get it either. I hope Axel comes home soon. And considering Axel's one of my favorite characters, I hope that as well. And we get quite a bit of things here, quite a bit of stuff I should say, for completing this mission. Specifically, the Air Slide Plus is my, probably the best thing we got there, because like I think I explained this before, we'll be able to air slide twice without having to touch the ground first now, so we'll be a little bit more nimble. But as I was saying, probably near the beginning of the episode, I think I'm only going to do just the one mission in this one episode, because we're about 20-ish minutes in right now. And I think that's pretty good for a, an episode length. Let me guys know if you like these sort of smaller smaller episodes, I should say, or if you want me to go back to the 30 to 40 minute episodes. I can do either one. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.